Carmen Rodriguez Peralta, Director for World of Music Concert Series, and I want to welcome you to this Halloween concert being performed by the Rasa String Quartet. This wonderful ensemble has performed a couple of times already at MCC, and we're delighted to have them back. As always, a reminder, please turn off cell phones, and please do stay for the reception after the concert. Again, welcome and enjoy the soundtrack to a nightmare.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kiyoshi. We have Maura, we have Mina, we have Emma, and together we are the Rasa String Quartet. We're based in Boston and are super excited to be here. We haven't played here in a couple years. I think last time we were here was the pandemic, but our former cellist Eunghee used to teach here, and so we're super excited to be back. Our program tonight is called Soundtrack to a Nightmare. And it is very, of course, inspired by the upcoming Halloween holiday and takes you on the classic story arc of a horror film. And so we have programmed this music in different acts or sets. And the first set for you is kind of the spooky setting of the scene, the beginning credits to our adventure together. And so you're going to hear two pieces. The first is by Tan Dun, a single movement from his larger work, 8 Colors, and the movement that we were playing is called Cloudiness, and it's very mysterious and eerie, and you can almost imagine like kind of a tumbleweed billowing in the wind on like some sort of very spooky landscape. I don't know, that's what I think of at least. And then following that, we're gonna go directly into the prelude from the movie Psycho. And so, enjoy this opening act.
start our journey somewhere maybe a little unusual, or not what you'd expect. We're going to start with some Mozart. But this is one of the spookier Mozarts. This is just the first movement of his Dissonance string quartet. At the time, it was very unusual to have dissonance or sort of crunch in the sound. So the opening of this piece is very kind of spooky as well and mysterious before it launches off into a very elegant dance. So this is sort of this false sense of security that you get in old spooky horror movies or maybe gothic movies. You sort of need to meet the characters, get to know them a little bit, maybe fall in love with them a little bit. There's a romance that unfolds. So after that, we're going to play Amy Beach's Romance, originally written for violin and piano, but this particular version is arranged for string quartet by Eunghee, who used to teach here. So it's really nice to get to play this here particularly. And she wrote it at the tail end of the 1800s. It's very lush. It's very beautiful. So you get to sit back and just enjoy for a little bit.
Whoever you're imagining in this story. In this segment, we programmed two different pieces. The first one is Moon Over the Ruined Castle by Rentaro Taki. And this tune was written in 1901. It's a very famous Japanese folk tune, and I arranged it for this particular program for string quartet. And when I was doing the arrangement, I was imagining this scene where samurai was alone dying in a woodland castle. And in this case, samurai is Kiyoshi. And I was kind of imagining there should be some wind sound, which I was trying to create in the viola part, and some water droplets in Maura's part, and then that kind of launches into the Japanese folk song melody, which I was imagining maybe we're reminiscing on his life back as he's dying. And then that kind of builds with the Celtic rhythm, and then it launches into this like epic battle that he just had that left him injured. And then the piece ends with him just closing his eyes. Following that piece is Schubert's Death and the Maiden, only the first movement. Schubert was such a champion of art songs, and one of the most famous art songs he has is the same title, Death and the Maiden. And the song's content is about the young maiden pleading death to not take her away, but at the end of the song, death takes her away. And he used this particular motif to write this string quartet only 4 years before his death at age 31. So it's a really significant string quartet, and it starts with this really thunderous octave from all four of us, and you might recognize it right away as you hear it, but the piece ends with this quiet, very introverted section. I hope you enjoy these two songs.
Who knows? So we're going to give you two pieces to sort of represent this segment of perhaps ascension, perhaps descension into something like the afterlife. First, we're going to play a piece called Motion Picture Soundtrack from the band Radiohead, who you might be familiar with outside of the classical music context. This is a cool arrangement for string quartet of this song. And this particular song is sort of thematically deals with the concept of the afterlife and those sorts of things. So we thought it would be apropos to include in this segment. Kiyoshi gets to play a lot of kind of flourishes at the end of this song that kind of sound ascendant. And then after that, because who knows what happens in the afterlife, we're going to give you some Celtic dance music. We're going to play a piece called Jig of the Blood Moon to keep ourselves on topic. And then following that will be the Kyle Brack Rambler. So I hope you enjoy these couple selections to represent the afterlife.
right, well, thank you all so much. We've made it near the end of our soundtrack to a nightmare, so thank you so much for going on this journey with us. Before we play our last piece, just wanted to take a quick moment to thank Carmen and everyone here at Middlesex Community College for having us and bringing us here. Of course, huge thank you to each and every one of you for coming out here, see some returning faces, some new faces, so thank you so much for supporting us and live music. We really, really appreciate it. And if you want to learn more about us, again, we are the Rasa String Quartet. You can check out our website at rasastringquartet.com. We're also on Instagram at Rasa String Quartet. And if you'd like to keep in touch and come hang out again at another show, I would say the best way to do that is to sign up for our email list, which you can do via our website. So hope to see you guys again. And our last piece of the evening, to kind of continue on the theme of that the afterlife is just a big old party, we are going to be playing the very iconic Michael Jackson's Thriller. So thank you so much and have a great day. Thank you.
Aurora! patrol in search of blood to terrorize your neighborhood. And whomsoever shall be